because of the things it's offered, and maybe Crackle. That's one of those other ones that does it, and a few others. You'll find that it's quite expensive, and it's really time-consuming. In conventional TV, you just change the channel.
Yeah.
With a Roku TV, you got to back out, go to the screen, click on, let's say, CNN, then it goes to CNN. You want to change the channel, you back out again, go to the main screen. It's really confusing for the elderly. Now, the younger crowd do it all the time on their cell phone, but at the Digital Media Technology Convention, which I just came back from on Wednesday, PBS did a great presentation of who's watching what, when, and why, demographics-wise, both by nationality, by age, and so on and so forth.
Really?
And they said the most watched screen is your TV. Sure, you can get it on your iPad, you can get it on your cell phone, but even people who get it on their cell phone will sling it to the TV to watch.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And so, and the number of hours of watching per day is averaging about 2 hours per person a day, taking into effect those that are homebound, housewife, let's say. And she's busy. She doesn't have time to really watch much TV, although she's home, let's say, all day, and including the husband that comes home late and the youth that come in. They'll watch their cell phone and such, but most of theirs is communication watching. YouTube, their friends' Facebook, FaceTime, which is really weird. If you haven't watched FaceTime,
You can watch FaceTime?
Yeah, it's where you contact somebody and then you can change their looks by putting bunny ears on them. Or,
I guess I've seen that, yeah.
Oh, you've done that.
Not on FaceTime.
Well, whatever.
I've done it with Facebook, with Doug, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that poor boy, he's more, he's like Transformer.
Yeah, you can do a lot of
He
things. but-
loves it. Don't be fooled. He loves
But can you sling that to your TV to talk to somebody on the
Yes.
TV with the FaceTime
Yes,
and
you
not on
can.
your phone?
Once you connect your TV to your phone, or vice versa, once you connect your phone to your TV, then whatever your cell phone sees, your TV can see.
Oh, my.
I was going to put you on a live
Like
thing.
that.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's,
You want me to
it's
put you on
simple.
Facebook Live?
I don't really do Facebook. I don't have time. I have every time-saving device there is.
So what?
And I have no time. So that was a misadvertisement.
There was a quote this morning on our airwaves, and basically it's, I forgot who quoted it, but he said, because of technology and everything, and you're worried about time, shut off all your damn notifications. Just shut them off. Then when you have time to look, check all your notifications. Check what you wanted to see, if somebody called it.
Yeah,
So
that
you're
was
always,
Richard Branson.
there you go.
That's who said it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you're being interrupted in what you want to do with technology all the time.
yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. I was walking in and my phone was going beep, beep, beep. I have no idea what it was beeping about, but apparently there's a notification that's turned on that's telling me something is there all the time. And then you turn those off, maybe you'll be more, what do you think, James?
What do you think, James?
There's a lot of things that save time, but when you look back on it, did you really save any time? Like a shortcut. Sometimes I'll be in a long line going home, and I say, I'm going to take a shortcut in the back road. It takes me longer to get home. That shortcut, everybody knows that shortcut. And they're all, 38th Street's blocked. I thought there was an accident on 441 the other day, and it was just normal traffic going south at 5 o'clock. So,
So do you have one of the things in your car that on your dashboard that shows like what's going on up ahead?
no.
You don't have one of those ladies that tell you there is a wreck in 4 miles?
No, I think that's Wave. That's one of the softwares that you can have on your cell phone. I don't have Wave.
Now, when you have that and you're driving down,
Right.
doesn't that eat up all your data?
That I wouldn't know because I'm not a phone finiciato that knows, how everything is connected as far as the phone's concerned. A lot of people have unlimited data. My wife's got a cell phone.
See, there we go.
And everybody, is on it. She's got unlimited phone, talk, text, data. I'm sure she pays for it. I don't pay the bill, so I don't know how much it costs.
Yeah, but you work and you stand by everything that you do, because you're just telling us that you were driving home, you were almost home, and then you got a call that you needed to turn around and go fix 5 different units.
Yep,
And you did it right away. You didn't make the people wait.
Right. I hate to put something off because I'll never get back to it. I always tell people when they ask me, will you do this and do that? I'll say yes. But will you call me tomorrow? Because I mean well, and I promise a lot, but I do very little because I forget. So, you'll have to call me. And they do. They'll call me in the morning and say, did you do so-and-so? Like today, a lady called me. I had to go pull a permit. And she said, I'm just calling. You asked me to call you to remind you to pull a permit for our electrical work.
Oh, my.
And I said, yep, when I'm off the radio, I'll run down to the county and I'll pull the electrical permit.
Now, how difficult is that? What do you have to show them that they're going to give you this piece of paper?
It depends what it is, but normally I do a drawing. I show them how it is now. I show them what I'm going to change. I do all the calculations, how many amps are going to be drawn, excuse me, what size wire I'm going to use. And then I give them all of my liability insurance, all of my electrical license codes, all that stuff. And then they usually look at it, and if there's a question, they'll ask me what, the question. And they usually give me the permit the same day. There are other times when it has to go to permit review.
Oh.
In other words, you're going to change this out. Well, let us get with the inspectors and see if they will allow you to do that.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Oh, yes, I was calling about the phone app that you guys are talking about, the Waze.
Yeah.
WAZE. And it's a pretty handy device to get you throughout traffic because it's a network connected of every other driver that's using Waze, and it kind of calculates around traffic. So if there's a severe congestion or something like that in an area, it'll take you a different route. It'll also tell you about hazards in the road that people have reported, speed traps, cameras, all kinds of stuff like that. Very handy to use.
I have Waze, and I have a question about it. Do the drivers, do I report something with my voice, or because I can't type it in there? How do you do that? How do you actually report?
It'll pop up. You can press on the screen, and it's a very simple thing. It's meant to be, semi-hands-free. Just a single button push, and it brings up hazard or police report or something like that, or heavy congestion, stuff of that nature. But it's usually only 2 button presses at most.
So you report an accident. You have to look at the screen, though, to do it, right?
Yeah. But generally,
Oops! Oops! I think that's against the law now, isn't it? Oops! It's called texting.
Yeah, I use it.
They try to simplify it, but it would be easier, obviously, with voice command.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's going to have to be because it's against the law now in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to Larry's question, is it eat up data?
That was Joe's question.
Yeah, it's sometimes, if you're running a lot of stuff, like, in the background as well. But I don't think any more than regular Google Maps does.
Well, I do like it. I just
Like I
always
said,
wondered.
getting into integrated GPS on vehicles,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure how the legality of that is as well, because you're still only pressing one thing or another on the screen integrated in the car.
Yeah, see, in my case, I'd have to put my reading glasses on to even answer myself.
Yeah,
Now I'm
that's
limited.
too.
Now I'm limited. I can only see
Well,
local.
now, the newer cars, I've been in a newer car, quote-unquote, riding, and it's all voice. The whole thing's voice.
Oh, okay.
So I was just,
Yeah, that steering wheel control.
not even steering wheel, well, yeah, off and on. Turn it on, answer it. Other than that, it's just total voice. There's an accident, way, or it's you're just driving, you say, tell me the best route from here to wherever you're going, to Disney World, and blah, 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 and you could say alternate route, you could say with toll roads, whatever you want to throw in there, and it grabs it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the call. Joe, I just have a hard time believing you use GPS to get to Disney World.
No.
You should be the voice.
I was just using that as an example.
We should have Joe's voice whenever we use GPS. How do you get to Disney World? And then Joe will come on. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you how to get to this.
Let me tell you where to go.
Is there something in your system, Jim, in your cable system that will mechanically alert you, like in the mainframe of it, that there is something that's not quite right that'll entice you to go down there and check it out?
Yeah, we get alerts all the time. So if we lose a satellite channel, which is the input to one device, it will alert us that that device no longer has an input. And then we know that that device may be connected to CNN. So we know that right away we lost CNN. If it's an output, it does the same thing. An output always feeds something else that's an input. So all the input devices are monitored for us intelligently, like artificial intelligence,
Oh,
in the
okay.
sense that we tell it, if you see this level, do nothing. If you see this level, then call us.
We had a story the other day that this, what do you call that thing in the car? Star Alert or something? Star?
OnStar.
OnStar. Called the police because the whatever detected the sound of a child in a car, but also detected the car was not running. And so the police showed up. Sure enough, they found a child in the car, and the mother was asleep or passed out. And of course, then there was some legal ramifications from all that. But isn't that amazing?
It is.
That could have saved that child. That new technology could have saved.
So the ramifications are that there's somebody listening to you all the time, no matter where
That too.
you're at.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, think about that for a while.
Yeah, well, I hope I'm entertaining
Yeah, well,
when they listen to me.
you know, those days of the back seat, things are almost all over, you know?
Yeah, but that's entertaining. if I was on the other end, if that was my job to listen, I'd be saying, "Go listen to this, Robert. Listen to these."
Wow.
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you call Brenda over and say, "Brenda, listen"?
I might be doing that. Yes. So temptation is a terrible thing.
Can the eye of the set look at you when it's off?
So the camera is always, pointed or looking, and then it gets turned on or gets turned off. And as we've been saying for a long time, even your laptop, you need to cover up that camera when you're not using it, because anybody can turn that camera on. I mean, I'm not that smart, but my IT guy, whom you met or have probably seen, is doing the phones for you. He tells me all the time,
So, Jonathan?
I'll turn on your laptop camera, but I see you have it blocked. And I say, yeah, I block my camera 24/7. I block the camera on my TV 24/7.
You and the Pope.
So what you do is you turn the camera on so you could see yourself on the screen. All right, and then you walk around the TV with the palm of your hand, moving it slowly, usually the bottom right-hand corner, and then you'll see where it blocked it. And you say, okay, so then you'll take the palm of your hand and maybe do finger point and just go slow until you find the actual camera. And then you take like a Band-Aid or a Postum and you put it over that spot, and now that camera is blocked.
Oh, okay.
And if not, the boy next door could check in on the girl next door. Just logging in.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. All right, you ready for the next call?
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Good morning, Jim, Larry, Rob, and Joe. I find myself using the GPS even for some places that I go to, but not very often. And one of them naturally is a doctor's office. Thank God I don't go there too often. And the reason why I do that is it tells me how far I got to go before I got to make a right or a left turn. So this way I'm not constantly looking at the street signs. I can pay more attention to my driving. Even though I know how to get there, it's still nice to know, well, I got 1.2 miles to go before I make a right turn. So when they starts really talking a lot, I better be making a right turn very shortly. And it tells you what street, so you can look for the street signs and stuff. Mm-hmm. So to me, I find myself using my Garmin a lot more than just looking up new locations that I have to run to.
Yeah, I do. Right.
But it to me, it's just a little more convenience in getting around. And that way I can also concentrate more on what's happening around me on the road. I don't know how you guys find that, but I'll hang up and listen. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, thank you, Sonny.
Yeah, I do that sometimes myself. If I'm going to a familiar spot, I push recently, found places and hit it. And the reason is I want to know what time I'm due to arrive. And if I have a 1 o'clock meeting and it's and it says I'm going to arrive at 12:40, I know I got 20 minutes to spare. So I might pull over and at the rest area and use their facilities. I may go by McDonald's and get a glass of tea or whatever, because if I want to show up on time, but I don't want to show up 25 minutes early and just sit around and wait.
Oh, yeah.
One reason that I like to use it locally, even though I know pretty much, well, there's two reasons. First of all, if I get into the car with you and you've never driven with me anywhere, and we're going to someplace both of us go to all the time, and I start heading the way I go, you might say, why are you going this way? I always go, and then you'll tell me the way you go.
Right.
And I always question myself. I always say, oh my gosh, I must be going the long or the wrong way all these years, right? I'm just curious what the little lady on the thing is going to tell me how to go. So, just curious. But the other reason, this is maybe better, you pull up on Pine, right? And it'll say, turn left on 441. And you think, I never think of that as 441. I know it is. Or turn left on 301. I never think of that as 301. To me, it's 441 or Pine. I never think of it as all the other names.
Yeah.
And if you're giving directions to somebody, you want to tell them based on the lady, because she's going to tell it. She's not going to call it necessarily what you call it. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I love the way they pronounce the different names too. I was down in Tampa, and I wanted to go to Dow Electronics, and they're on Adamo Drive. And I punched it in, and it said, turn right on and they stuttered. They couldn't pronounce Adamo Road.
Oh, no.
Because I think it was too close to being profanity, and they were going,
Adamo Road.
Adamo Road, And then when you get to Martin Luther King Boulevard, it says, turn right on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
It spells out.
Yeah, it tells you. And so I use it a lot of times just for the sounds of it. And to hear them try to pronounce some of the words are so funny.
Yeah. And I have a couple of different accents on mine. Does yours ever pop up with a British accent?
No.
Mine does, right, Robin? Every once in a while, should we have and I say, well, I wonder how it changes.
Yeah. I think they should make different versions of the voice. I've often told my wife that it would be neat to, have, let's say, an adult version of the
an adult version.
Yeah. So
really?
Like when it says recalculating, or it says when possible make a U-turn.
Yeah.
Something should come up and say, what part of make a U-turn did you didn't understand? Fool? Turn around. Things like that. I think it'd be very comical. It would add to the. To the driving.
Yeah. I do get frustrated with her, though. I think we all do, right?
With the what? The apps?
With her, with the lady.
Oh, the lady. Yeah.
All right, you have a phone call coming in?
All right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I wonder what that GPS thing is going to do if you ask it for directions to the damn diner in Ocklawaha.
Yes. Yeah, so that's one of the things they stutter, they hesitate when it gets to the road.
Perfect.
Yeah, have a good day.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I'll do?
Thank you.
I'll test it. You ready? I'm going to test it right now. See if I have all the volume turned up. Ready? Okay. How do I get to the damn diner?
Getting directions to Duck's Dam Diner.
Wow, she knew right away what it was. It's called Duck's Dam Diner? I never knew
I
that.
don't know. Maybe is it this one, or is it in a different
I don't know.
What state is it in?
Route to Duck's Dam Diner.
Oh, wow, she's giving me the route.
Proceed to the route.
Okay, thank you. I don't need to proceed to the... Well, there you go.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, yours is more sophisticated than mine.
Not usually. Not usually. She usually picks on me.
Yeah. But talk about time and everything. Like you were saying, I know people will go out and do things and then they'll hit the record button to record their shows. But how do you find the time to watch the recorded shows if a person's so busy?
Well, a lot of times what we do is we'll record a show. My wife will record some, I'll record some. It depends on what we think it's about. And then when we hit record, we start fast forwarding through it to see if it's what we thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And a lot of times, we'll fast forward and we'll just never stop. We'll say, no, it's not what we thought it was going to be. Just erase it. So we might have 200 recordings that we have not watched yet on the TV.
Oh my gosh!
But literally, if we lost every single one of them, except maybe 5 or 6, we would never know. Because they've been on there for a long time because we did not have time to watch them. We just recorded them thinking, okay, we'll get back to them. And then a few of them we really enjoy. I might watch them again. Mr. Mahoney's Emporium, I watched that 3 or 4 times.
Oh.
And there's a few others that I really like. They're kind of comical, and watch them again. I've watched Deja Vu twice.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Did you feel like you had deja vu?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So there was a thing in the news the other day that Siri, the assistant, whatever you call it, will, if you say to it, Siri, I'm getting pulled over, then it will automatically call somebody so they can listen in, and will also, somebody you designate, and will also videotape the whatever the police officer says to you when he comes to the window. I wonder if mine will do that. Let me see. Siri, I'm getting pulled over. See.
I found this on the web.
Never mind. But I guess I don't have the new one. But it was in the news that if you say, Siri, I'm getting pulled over, she will do whatever she needs to do to call something. Like she'll call Brenda, and Brenda will be listening. Oh, what did he do?
Oh, boy. Here he goes.
So when there are updates like that, it used to be where it would say, click here for an update and things. Does it just do it automatically now, or do you still have to tell
No,
it?
thank goodness you still have to do the updates. There's been several updates that I've been online, let's say talking to someone, they'll say, don't update the new version of Verizon or whatever it happens to be because it's really bad. It changes the color of your phone. It puts things in different spots. I've had to call Verizon and ask them, where do I find my recently called ones, because I don't see them anymore.
Oh, no.
Because they rearrange them. And I've been to Verizon and say, can you take this off? In other words, can I go back to the older version? No. Once you click yes, you're stuck. So I have a cell phone that has like 3 or 4 warnings on it. There's 3 or 4 updates that they want me to click on. I don't care about those updates. I don't do secure things on my phone. I don't have all my information on my phone. I don't have credit card information on my phone. I don't text somebody my information. So I'm not worried about them, if they want to listen in. I think they'd be so bored.
Oh, no.
They'd say, all this guy does is talk technical mumbo.
Yeah.
So I don't do any of that. So, I sometimes will not update. Even my email people blast will send me things, time to update.
So are you going to be going to any more conferences lately?
I am. I'm going next week to Infocom in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
I met an interesting gentleman at the show. I'll tell you real quick. He's got a set-top box that's got an app built in, and doctors use it. So if you have to be monitored, you subscribe to the set-top box, and all the information from your pacemaker or whatever, your blood pressure, gets sent to the box.
Wow.
And then the box sends it in real time to the hospital or wherever. So you're monitored, and the doctors and the hospitals pay for that because they want to monitor you.
Wow.
And so instead of being tied down, let's say, to a phone line, it sends it wireless to this box, and then this box sends it through the internet.
Wow. See, I think
Very, very interesting.
I think all in all, there are good things happening with these things.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim, for what you do. Thank you for supporting what Robin and I are trying to do.
Thank you.
No problem.
And we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Right, bye.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. A 32-year-old Ocala man has been arrested and charged with sexual battery on a child 12 or older after the girl told authorities she passed out after drinking with the man and awakened to find him molesting her. Scientists say blue-green algae appears to be blooming on the eastern side of Florida's Lake Okeechobee. A Florida man is facing a misdemeanor charge for allegedly pouring ketchup on his girlfriend while she was sleeping. Police say 2 female acquaintances vanished with more than $500,000 in jewelry from star NFL running back Le'Veon Bell's Florida home. The U.S. Coast Guard will be unloading drugs seized in international waters off the coasts of Mexico and Central and South America. And D23, the official Disney fan club, has revealed the presentation